Hi, welcome to the Knox County Public Library and the Tutor Team. It's Mrs. Worland in 2nd, 3rd grade. It is your day for a book. I have picked out a most amazing book today. It's a Caldecott Medal Award winner. It is Sylvester and the Magic Pebble by William Steig. Now today, pay close attention because when we're finished, our activity is going to be sequencing the story. Sequencing means telling the story in order. And as you can see behind me, I have the sentences ready to go. So, get your listening ears on. Sylvester and the Magic Pebble. Sylvester Duncan lived with his mother and father at Acorn Road in Oatsdale. One of his hobbies was collecting pebbles of unusual shape and color. A hobby, something he likes to do. Maybe you have a hobby. On a rainy Saturday afternoon during vacation, he found a quite extraordinary one. It was flaming red, shiny, and perfectly round, like a marble. And as he was studying this remarkable pebble, he began to shiver, probably from excitement. And the rain felt cold on his back. "I wish it would stop raining," he said. And to his great surprise, the rain stopped. It didn't stop gradually, as rain usually does. It ceased, but stopped. The drops vanished on the way down. The clouds disappeared. Everything was dry, and the sun was shining, as if the rain had never existed. Okay, right now we can tell the story is fiction because animals don't talk. Donkeys don't have hobbies either. In all his young life, Sylvester had never had a wish gratified so quickly. It struck him that the magic must be at work, and he guessed that the magic must be in the remarkable-looking red pebble, where indeed it was. To make a test, he put the pebble on the ground and said, "I wish it would rain again." Nothing happened. But when he said the same thing, holding the pebble in his hoof, the sky turned black. There was lightning and a clap of thunder, and the rain came shooting down. "What a lucky day this is," thought Sylvester. "From now on, I can have anything I want. My father and mother can have anything they want. My relatives, my friends, and anybody at all can have everything anybody wants." I think he's pretty excited about the pebble. What do you think? He wished the sunshine back in the sky, and he wished a wart on his left fetlock would disappear. And it did. And he started home, eager to amaze his mother and father with his magic pebble. He could hardly wait to see their faces. Maybe they wouldn't even believe him at first. What if you took home a magic pebble? Do you think your parents would believe you? What do you think Sylvester's parents are going to think? As he was crossing Strawberry Hill, thinking of some of the many, many things he could wish for, he was startled to see a mean, hungry lion looking right at him from behind some tall grass. He was frightened. If he hadn't been so frightened, he would have made the lion disappear, or he could have wished himself safe at home with his father and his mother. He could have wished the lion would turn into a butterfly, or a daisy, or a gnat. He could have wished many things, but he panicked, and he couldn't think carefully. "I wish I were a rock," he said, and he became a rock. The lion came bounding over, sniffed the rock 100 times, and walked around and around it. And he went away, confused, perplexed, puzzled, and bewildered. I saw that little donkey as clear as day. Maybe I'm going crazy, he muttered. And there was Sylvester, a rock, on Strawberry Hill, with the magic pebble lying right beside him on the ground, and he was unable to pick it up. Yeah, because he's a rock. Oh, how I wish I were myself again, he thought. But nothing happened. He had to be touching the pebble to make the magic work. But there was nothing he could do about it. His thoughts began to race like mad. He was scared and worried. Being helpless, he felt hopeless. He doesn't have any hope. He imagined all the possibilities, and eventually he realized that his only chance of becoming himself again was for someone to find the red pebble and to wish that the rock next to it would be a donkey. Someone would surely find the red pebble. It was so bright and shiny. But what on earth would make them wish that a rock were a donkey? Has a point. The chance was 1 in a billion at best. Sylvester fell asleep. What else could he do? Night came with many stars. Wow. He really's got a problem, doesn't he? Meanwhile, back at home, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan paced the floor, frantic with worry. Sylvester had never come home later than dinner time. Where could he be? They stayed up all night wondering what happened, expecting that Sylvester would surely turn up by the morning. But he didn't, of course. Mrs. Duncan cried a lot, and Mr. Duncan did his best to soothe her. Both longed to have their dear son with them. I will never scold Sylvester again as long as I live, said Mrs. Duncan, no matter what he does. At dawn, they went about inquiring of all the neighbors. Wow, can you imagine how his parents feel? They talked to all the children, the puppies, the kittens, the colts, and the piglets. No one had seen Sylvester since the day before yesterday. They went to the police. The police could not find their child. All the dogs in Oatsdale were searching for him. They sniffed behind every rock and tree and blade of grass, into every nook and gully of the neighborhood and beyond. But not a scent of him. Scent means a smell. They sniffed the rock on Strawberry Hill, but it smelled like a rock. It didn't smell like Sylvester. After a month of searching the same places over and over again and inquiring of the same animals over and over again, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan, they no longer knew what to do. They concluded that something dreadful must have happened and that they would probably never see their son again, though all the time he was less than a mile away. They tried their best to be happy, to go about their usual ways. But their usual ways included Sylvester, and they were always reminded of him. They were miserable. Life had no meaning for them anymore. Night followed day, and day followed night, over and over again. Sylvester on the hill woke up less and less often. And when he was awake, he was only hopeless and unhappy. He felt he would be a rock forever, and he tried to get used to it. He went into an endless sleep. The days grew colder. Fall came with the leaves changing color. Then the leaves fell, and the grass bent to the ground. Then it was winter. The winds blew this way and that. It snowed. Mostly the animals stayed indoors, living on the food they had stored up. One day a wolf sat on the rock that was Sylvester and howled because he was hungry. Then the snows melted. The earth warmed up in the spring sun, and things budded. Leaves were on the trees again. Flowers showed their young faces. Sylvester's really been gone a long time, hasn't he? He passed through fall and winter, and now spring is here. One day in May, Mr. Duncan insisted that his wife go with him on a picnic. Let's cheer up. Let us try to live again and be happy, even though Sylvester, our angel, is no longer with us. They went to Strawberry Hill. I wonder what's going to happen. Mrs. Duncan sat down on the rock. Who's the rock? Sylvester. The warmth of his own mother sitting on him woke Sylvester up from his deep winter sleep. How he wanted to shout, "Mother! Father! It's me, Sylvester! I'm right here!" But he couldn't talk. He had no voice. He was stone dumb. Now, I'm not saying that is bad, but he can't do anything because he's a rock. Mr. Duncan walked aimlessly about while Mrs. Duncan set out the picnic food on the rock. Alfalfa sandwiches, pickled oats, sassafras salad, Timothy compost, and suddenly Mr. Duncan saw the red pebble. "What a fantastic pebble!" he exclaimed. Sylvester would have loved this one for his collection, and he put the pebble on the rock. They sat down to eat. Sylvester was now wide awake as a donkey that was a rock could possibly be. Mrs. Duncan felt some mysterious excitement. "You know, Father," she said suddenly, "I have the strangest feeling that our dear Sylvester is still alive and not far away." I am! Sylvester wanted to shout, but he couldn't. If only he had realized that the pebble resting on his back was the magic pebble. Yes. Boy, I hope he realizes it. "Oh, how I wish he was here with us on this lovely May Day," said Mrs. Duncan. Mr. Duncan looked sadly at the ground. "Don't you wish it too, Father?" He looked at her as if to say, "How can you ask such a question?" Mr. and Mrs. Duncan looked at each other with great sorrow. "I wish I were myself again. I wish I were my real self again," thought Sylvester. And in less than an instant, he was! You can imagine the scene that followed. The embraces, the kisses, the questions, the answers, the loving looks, and the fond exclamations. So he had the pebble on him, and he was able to wish himself back. When they had eventually calmed down a bit and had gotten home, Mr. Duncan put the magic pebble in an iron safe. Someday they might want to use it, but really for now, what more could they wish for? They had all that they wanted. And what was all that they wanted? You're right, it was for Sylvester to come home. Sylvester and the Magic Pebble. I really like this book. So, are you ready to sequence the story? Well, let's get started. We are going to move everybody up a little bit. All righty. So, I have my handy dandy pen. And let's get rocking and rolling. So, first thing we need to do, I'm going to just a little so everybody can see. We need to read through these first. And then we're going to talk about, do you think this happened first? Do you think this happened first? So, are we ready? Sylvester's parents went on a picnic. The family had all that they wanted. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock. He wished he was a rock. Sylvester's parents searched for him. He saw a lion on his way home. Sylvester found a shiny red pebble. Sylvester's parents were miserable. Sylvester's dad found the pebble. Sylvester wished he was himself again. All right, so look at those for just a moment. Are you ready? So let's go through these again. And let's think which one happened first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another one at the end, okay? That's how we're going to sequence the story. Now, if you were at school, you would probably cut this out and glue them on a piece of paper. But since we're not going to cut them out and glue them down, that's how I'm going to do it today. Sylvester's parents went on a picnic. Yeah, you're right. No, that was near the end of the story. The family had all that they wanted. Yeah, you're right. No, that's not going to work. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock. No, good call. He wished he was a rock. Did that happen first? Sylvester's parents searched for him. Still not there, are we? He saw a lion on his way home. Well, that was closer to the front, but you're right, that wasn't the first thing that happened. Sylvester found a shiny red pebble. What? That's what you think? Sylvester found a shiny red pebble? That was the first thing that happened in the story? Well, guess what? You were right. Great job. So, that's number one in the story. Now, what happened after Sylvester found the shiny red pebble? Sylvester's parents went on a picnic? Yep, nope, don't think so. The family had all that they wanted. Yeah, you're right. You guys are really good at this. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock? Nope. He wished he was a rock? Yeah, we're not there yet, are we? Sylvester's parents searched for him? Well, we haven't made it even where Sylvester met the lion yet. He saw a lion on his way home. What? You think that's number two? He saw a lion on his way home? You're right. Great job. Okay, he found the pebble. He saw a lion on his way home. So let's find the third event. Sylvester's parents went on a picnic? Yeah, you're right. That's going to be near the end. The family had all that they wanted? You're right. That was at the end of the story. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock? He wished he was a rock? You're right. He did wish he was a rock. Why? Because the lion was after him. All right. So we know from the beginning, we know all these up here are going to be near the end of the story. We're only on number 3. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 of these to put in order. So maybe we should keep going this direction. Good idea, yeah. He wished he were a rock. Now what happened next? Sylvester's parents searched for him. Sylvester's parents were miserable. Sylvester's dad found the pebble. Sylvester wished he was himself again. What? Sylvester's parents searched for him? That's right. Remember, they searched for him because he didn't come home. So you're right. That is number 4. All right. They searched for him. Let's look. We know they haven't went on the picnic yet. The family had all that they wanted. Yeah, we know that's at the end. You're right. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock. We haven't made it that far. I mean, we've not made it that far in the story, have we? You're right. These are done. Sylvester's parents were miserable. You're right. They were miserable. Why were they miserable? Well, it was because Sylvester wasn't home. They missed their son. They wanted him home. So, Sylvester's parents were miserable. What do you think happened next? Did his dad find the pebble yet? No, something had to happen before that. Sylvester wished he was himself again? Not yet. Sylvester's parents went on a picnic? Yeah, you're right. Great job. All right, so they went on the picnic. Then what happened? The family had all they wanted? Yeah, you're right. That's not it. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock. Sylvester's dad found the pebble. Sylvester wished he was himself again. What? Go back? Which one? Sylvester's dad found the pebble? You're right. His dad did find the pebble. Then what happened? The family had all they wanted. I know, I keep reading that, and I know you guys keep telling me, no, Mrs. Worland, that's the last thing in the story. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock, or Sylvester wished he was himself again. Yeah, you're right. He had to put the pebble on the rock, because once the pebble got on the rock, Sylvester wished he was himself again. And then, yes, we get to put a number 10 by that. You're right. The family had all they wanted. Now, let's go back and reread our numbers to make sure it tells the story in sequence, that we didn't, like mix them up or anything. All right. Sylvester found a shiny red pebble. He saw a lion on his way home. He wished he was a rock. Sylvester's parents then searched for him. Sylvester's parents were miserable. Remember, they looked and looked. They went to the police station. Sylvester's parents went on a picnic. Remember, the seasons had passed and they decided to go on the picnic. Sylvester's dad found the pebble. He put the pebble on Sylvester the rock. Sylvester wished he was himself again. The family had all they wanted. Congratulations! You guys did an amazing job on sequencing the story today. So, remember, you can always pick this book up at the Knox County Public Library. Some of you may find this book is in your teacher's classroom library if you'd like to reread it again. So, this is Mrs. Worland with the Knox County Public Library and the Tutor Team. This video will be on the Knox County Public Library's Facebook page, and I will also provide you with a hyperlink to it. Remember, you can always go back and watch the old videos that we've shot over the last few weeks. So, until next time, keep reading. Bye.